Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing great. So this week, I cover the practice room superpower number 2, which is patience. That's the one I talk about in episode 142 of the podcast. Make sure to catch it. And as you probably know now, if you go to mindoverfinger.com, you can sign up to the newsletter to get the transcripts of these episodes delivered to your inbox as they are released every week. In episode 141, we talked about superpower number 1, mind over finger. And that's the idea of alignment over effort, to know how we're feeling, to understand what's on the page in front of us, to really have our mind, our intention leading our actions instead of just walking in the practice room and moving our arms, which is not necessarily practicing. So patience. Why is patience so important when we're so busy and there's so many deadlines and we have to learn the music for tomorrow's gig? Well, when we try to rush the process, a few things happen. And the main two, I would say, are that we learn on the surface, or we pick up a lot of bad habits, or both. So how about that? Learning on the surface and picking up bad habits. When we really take that time to build our skills, this is when we give ourselves the best chances at performing in the way that is enjoyable, in the way that really fits the vision that we have for what we're trying to do. When you are, in fact, learning something quickly, that means that you have the proper skills aligned to learn that specific passage. But when something is challenging and you're trying to rush that process, so when something's challenging, that means that you don't already have all of the necessary tools to put it together. When you try to rush that process, it's a little bit like that analogy I use in the episode, which is the one of the three little pigs. So when you build your house of straw, the first breeze can knock it over. Now, wood is pretty good too, but as the story goes, it can burn and be destroyed. So what we want to do is really make sure that we're building house of bricks. We want to give ourselves the proper amount of time that's needed to learn a passage. So planning is really important. And I love my P's in the episode. I'm going to pull the quote here because I always mess it up if I try to say it without the prop. What I like to say is we fight the bad P's with the good P's. We prevent poor practice and we promote proper practice with precise planning, a purposeful process, and plenty of patience. So whatever you have to learn, look at it. Try to gauge what skill is necessary to learn it, how long you think it would take you to learn it, and then plan accordingly. Know what process you want to utilize to build that skill, right? Mind over finger, to have the knowledge of what process you're going to use, and then learn over time. When we try to acquire a new skill or learn a very difficult passage, it's very similar to building muscle. And you cannot go from lifting 5 pounds to lifting 50 pounds overnight. You have to build this up over time. Rushing the process is the equivalent of wanting to build up to 50 pounds, but going from 5 pounds to 50 right away. So what's going to happen is that you will injure yourself. You're going to make yourself so sore that you won't be able to work out for several days, and you're going to stop the process. So this is what happens when we rush the process. We don't learn well, and we also pick up a lot of bad habits. In the episode, I share with you one of my favorite quotes from Stephen Covey, who says, "The process must be followed and the price must be paid. We always reap what you sow." So whatever you don't take that time to learn properly now, you're going to have to learn eventually. So what happens is we need to know what we're working on, when it's due, and then we give ourselves the appropriate time to learn it. In the episode, I talked to you also about the Goldilocks factor. So We want to give ourselves enough time, but not too much time. We don't want to go on the side of nonchalance either. So have a very clear purpose when you practice. Be efficient, but don't rush the process. That's only going to lead to bad habits, learning on the surface, and you will have to do the work over and over again. So patience leads us fastest to our goals. In the episode, I was talking to you about how can we know that we're rushing the process. And I share with you 3 questions that's going to help bring mindfulness into your work and allow you to notice if it's happening. So rushing the process will make us feel urgency. Urgency is a little oppressive, stressful. There's going to be tension. When we're driven, even if we're trying to learn something fast, we wouldn't necessarily feel rushed. We wouldn't necessarily feel oppressed. So the best ways to notice what's going on is to pause and pay attention, right? Mind over finger, pay attention. So the first question I share with you is, how am I feeling right now? So take a second. You can even maybe put a hand over your heart and take a deep breath as you're practicing. And ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling comfortable? And by comfortable, I mean, sure, physically, but mentally. Am I feeling rushed? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling urgency? So pay attention to these feelings. The second question is, what are you experiencing in your body? So is your breath shallow? Are your muscles tense? Are you feeling as if the room is closing in on you? Or your thoughts are racing, maybe. So there's that sensation of oppression, of closeness. When we're rushing a process, it hardly feels exciting. So if you're feeling excited and motivated, or even just resolute and determined and focused, your body will feel a calmness. You'll feel a centeredness. It's going to feel expensive with an A. When you're rushing the process, you will feel more oppressed. So there's this sense of expansion or this sense of retraction, of contracting on yourself. These are going to give you really great tools to know what's going on. Another question you can ask yourself, there's many more, but these are 3 to get you started. Which emotion is powering my practice right now? So once you know how you're feeling and you have an idea what's happening in your body, that allows you to answer this question. Which emotion is powering my practice right now? Is urgency powering my practice? Or is determination? Is drive powering my practice right now? Or is insecurity? Once you know the answer to this question, you'll have this insight that you perhaps are engaging in rushing the process. So what you want to do is pause, pay attention, answer these questions, and once you know, adjust. Get back to a place where you are connected to your process, where you are aware of your planning, where you are connected again to which comes first, what the priority is, how to fix issues fastest, and how much time to give yourself. And you get to a place of patience, a place of centeredness, and a place where you can be efficient. You're building this house of bricks in an absolute place of self-respect and control. Another thing that patience does that is, for me, important is it makes the whole process more enjoyable because things get learned properly. And also this sense of calm that comes with patience makes the whole journey so much more enjoyable. So this is your practice room superpower number 2, patience. Tune into your body, understand how you're feeling emotionally, how you're experiencing your practice physically. Notice which emotion is inspiring your practice, and then reconnect to your goal and realign your effort. So don't forget to visit mindoverfinger.com. Sign up for the October 14th workshop, where I'm going to talk to you about all of the elements you're going to need to be a confident performer. We're going to have so much fun. I can't wait. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter to get the transcripts of the episode delivered in your inbox every week. Have an amazing week, everyone. I will see you next week. And we're going to talk about our practice room superpower number 3. Have a great week.